Hello friends, happy Friday, happy smoky Friday, my goodness, happy Friday. Hope your weekend is off to a great start. Great to see you tonight. I am enjoying the Matches Memorial Friday Savinelli with Haunted Bookshop as is tradition, and my weekend's off to a roaring start, I'll tell you what. So it's great to see you folks. Let's see, we got Tim Fournier here tonight. Good to see you, Tim. There's Cloud Bear, Lord Hogarth, Couch, Mountain Coffee Outdoors, Michael Case, Bear Wolf, and Miss Kathy. Great to see you folks. No Couch, YouTube done went and took that away, so not gonna have that anymore. Puny Pipe Man, how you doing? Michael Case has got frosted mint and a marksman. He's got a cold. Oh no, Michael. I hope that passes quickly, my friend. George Teeterman, happy Friday to you, sir, and Taciturn Richard. So, yeah, been an exciting week. Got a dental horror story I can tell you all if you're interested in such things, although every time I bring it up, my wife says, stop, you're giving me the heebie-jeebies, so I'm not allowed to talk about it upstairs. What else is going on? I'm off on an adventure tomorrow to the Midwestern Tool Collectors Association meetup. Looking forward to that, so we can talk about that a bit and what my plans are, and find out what's going on in your neck of the woods. Let's see, there's Kevin Doolin. How you doing, Kevin? Tim Wiggins, Armchair Piper. How you doing tonight, Ed? George Campbell, Piper on the 45. Nice crowd already assembled, just 2 minutes in. That's amazing. I almost was a wee bit late tonight because I took a little nap after dinner. I just crashed. I set an alarm for 7:30 because sometimes I lose track of time, and you know, so I need to have enough time to get down here and get everything set up and all. And I just zonked out completely. The alarm took me by surprise. I think I probably would have slept through till tomorrow morning if I hadn't set the alarm. St. David's Pipes. How you doing tonight, David? And there's Texas Piper. How are you, Eddie? Great to see you tonight. George Campbell just cracked a tin of Cornell and Deal Mountain Camp and he loves it. Good stuff, George. Good stuff. This my St. Benedict Zippo, and you'll notice I'm struggling lighting it. I think I gotta clean the wheel again. The wheels get crud built up on them, and every once in a while you gotta take a wire brush to them. Mountain Coffee Outdoors says he mixed up Shelby Foot's favorite blend last night and tried a bowl when he got home from work. 2 parts Edward G. Robinson and 1 part half and half. Sounds good. Mr. Stan J66, is that right? Mr. Stan J66, good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining us all the way from Korea. And it's morning coffee time there. Well, I hope you're enjoying the coffee, Mr. Stan. Great to see you. So I'm going to tell you what my dentist did to me. Even though it's probably you can probably watch the viewership just drop like a rock as I start to talk about this, because nobody likes to hear about the dentist. But Portsmouth Piper, hey Mark, how's it going there? Good to see you tonight. And there's Bona Piper. Good evening, Christian. Good to see you. So I had these 2 teeth that were root canaled, and then 10 years or so later they needed to be re-root canaled, and that lasted a good 5 years. And the dentist was saying, well, there's something going on. He x-rayed, he does x-rays however often, and he said, you got a little abscess on this one. I'm worried about them. I think you should have them re-root canaled. And he said, well, the only other option is to have them extracted, and we'll put bone grafts in, and then you can get implants put in. So he wanted me to get them re-root canaled, and this, referred me to a specialist, and the specialist looked at the films and everything. The same guy that did the re-root canals, and he said, no, I wouldn't do this. Forget about it. And the dentist says, well, if you really want to save the tooth and you don't mind throwing money at it, you could still try it. No, I think these teeth are done. I think it's time for them to come out. Let's see. Tim Fournier is asking, what is the difference between Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi? I don't know, Tim. I got a feeling this is a joke. Bona Piper is asking, where is Cliff? I'm not sure where he is this evening. He may show up. Saudis don't like the Flintstones and Abu Dhabi do. Oh God, Tim, I can't believe you got me to read that joke. That's terrible. And there's Smarty Bob. And Doug Owen. Good evening, Doug. Good to see you tonight. So I said, yeah, let's pull the 2 teeth and put the bone grafts in. We'll get implants and move on with life, and that'll be fine. So I make the appointment to do this, and the appointment's Wednesday. So just lost a molar. It was 2 molars, Christian. 2. Right next to 2 consecutive molars, the last 2 in line on the upper right-hand side. So I don't know why, but for some reason I was really dreading this. Now I've had the root canals and all that. I've had teeth extracted in the past. I know what visits to the dentist are like, and it doesn't normally bother me. For some reason, this one was bothering me. And I know this dentist. I've been seeing the same dentist for, God, it's got to be close to 20 years now. And he's really good guy. I trust him. And I sat down, and he's, how's it going? And I said, to be honest with you, something is really bothering me about this. I'm really worried about it. And that surprised him. And so he kind of talked me through the procedure and stuff and said, it's fine. It's nothing to worry about. But he knows me and he likes teasing me a little bit too. And he said, so now that I've got you calm, let me tell you exactly what I'm going to do. And then he described in excruciating detail that I promise I will not go into, exactly what he was going to do. It was pretty awful, to be honest. I wish he hadn't done that. But the problem was that, so it's 2 molars, and each of them have 3 roots. And the roots of your teeth are supposed to be coming down like this, right? And mine were all doing this. So it's like my teeth were, the roots were all hooked and biting into the gum. So he couldn't just pull it out because it would have, well, first off, because they were fragile, they would have broken, and then there would have been a big surgery thing. It could have, in theory, broken the jawbone, and it would have also caused a lot of damage to the gums. So what he's explaining to me is, well, the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go in there and we're going to have to bisect the teeth and cut them in 2 different planes, and we're going to cut them all the way through to the gum, and then we're going to peel the gum back, and then we're going to extract them 1 root at a time. And I thought, he's just, I tell you, by the time he was done explaining all this, I was already about as panicked as I think you can be. So there was no, when he came out with the big Novocaine needle, and he does use one of those giant old-fashioned ones, I think just for comic effect. When he came out with that, I couldn't be any more terrified, And the injections happened, and they always hurt a bit. And after that, it was really just fine. Today, I kind of feel like somebody punched me. I've got a little bit of throbbing pain. The past couple of days, it's been kind of off and on. It's not at all bad, but it was a horrific experience to have to go through. Mentally, more than anything else. Couch was viciously attacked by 2 of his cats because he took them to the vet. Oh no. Spent $400 for their bill. Spoiled little brats, these cats. All cats are spoiled little brats, Couch. I'm telling you, you should pack them and your Macintoshes up and trade them all in on a nice dachshund. Doug, you're right. That joke was about as bad as the ducks and grapes in the bar. Mountain Coffee Outdoors, I on rare occasions get a cinnamon note off a haunted bookshop. Just a little hit of cinnamon. So you're not crazy. It doesn't happen all the time. It's an occasional thing for me. But Couch is saying that he gets it too in some batches. Oh, Doug's gonna make me repeat the duck and grape joke. Smooth Piper, how you doing there, Peter? Oh, and Lord Hogarth has a cyst story that he can share. I don't know. We probably already lost half the audience with my dental ramblings there. Rick Spence, worst dental experience I heard about his 14-year-old nephew had to have wisdom teeth out. They were growing in sideways. Yeah, that's not good. And Tim Wiggins has got a dentist appointment on Thursday. Well, it's important, Tim. It only gets worse, right? Jeffrey Feinberg just had a molar excised a week ago. Not fun. Panicked and run. There you go, Jeffrey. Smooth Piper's got some haunted bookshop in his Friday Savinelli Roma lucite. Very nice. Hey, Texas Piper found another pipe smoker out in the wild. Good for you, Eddie. There's Tramper Scott. How you doing, Scott? And Steve Russell. I would have went to your dentist and knocked him out for. Thanks, Steve. Oh God, Bona Piper, that's terrible. That is just terrible. Yeah, Tim, that's known as rooting up the wrong canal. Yeah, George Campbell says he gets hints of nutmeg and some sweet scallops from some England Balkans. It's interesting what you can pull out sometimes. I'll tell the joke, Doug. I'm just trying to reformulate it in my head. I know I got it. I'm just trying to get around to the punchline. I remember now. Okay. I will tell it, I promise. Sailor, smoking some Cornell and Deal John Marr in a Briarworks bent pot with some Tito on the side. Sounds good, Sailor. Michael Case just listened to Radio Mysteries where the murderer was a beautiful lady doctor who smokes a pipe. Hey! Your kind of gal, huh, Michael? Beautiful, wealthy, pipe smoking, and murderous. Indeed, Codger Jim, indeed. I am thankful for small blessings. No idea there was a canal in the old DMZ. Tim. Hey, Phil Rivera, how you doing tonight, Phil? All right, Doug's joke. Duck walks into a bar and goes up to the bar, and the bartender says, "What can I get you?" And the duck says, "You got any grapes?" And the bartender says, "No, we don't have grapes here. It's a bar. We don't serve ducks anyway. Get out of here." And the duck leaves. Next day, the duck comes into the bar and says, same thing. Goes up to the bar. "What do you want? Got any grapes?" The bartender says, "Hey, wait a minute. You were in here yesterday. Get out of here. We don't serve ducks in here, and we don't have grapes." Third day, the duck comes back. Same thing again. "Got any grapes?" The bartender says, "Look, we don't serve ducks in here. We don't got grapes. And if you come in here again, I'm going to nail your flippers to the bar." Flippers, feet, whatever ducks have. Duck leaves. Following day, duck walks into the bar, hops up on the bar stool. The bartender turns around and says, "What can I get you?" And the duck says, "You got any hammers?" And the bartender says, "No, I don't have any hammers. Why?" And duck says, "Well, in that case, you got any grapes?" And that's the duck and grape joke. I don't know. That's true, Mountain Coffee Outdoors. It was a step up from the town barber with a pair of pliers. Yeah. It is amazing, Steve, how teeth can affect other things, and I've experienced that. With some previous one of these root canals that I had root canaled. I actually was feeling really poorly before I had that done. I had no idea it was the tooth. It just was coincidental that I had it done, and I felt much better. And yeah, there is the whole understanding thing as well. Pepe talking to his 90-year-old. Well, tell Grandpa we said hi, Pepe. Abu Dhabi 2 was better, according to Tim. Yeah, 30 seconds. Hey, I warned you, and it was Doug's joke, Eddie. Kirk from Florida. Hello, Kirk. Good to see you. I hit a homer with it. Oh, Doug. You're far too kind. Ah, I see, Pepe. Well, hope you have a good flight to Florida and a good visit with your dad. There's Harlow Piper. Hello, Harlow Piper. Good to see you tonight, my friend. Yes, Tim Doe. Couch is asking a silly question. Of course the Eagles are going to win. Barely even going to be a game. Go Birds indeed, Eddie. Go Birds indeed. Pepe's an Eagles fan too. Harlow Piper likes the Eagles. Tim's pointing out statistics. It doesn't matter, Tim. It might matter, but it might be the reason they win the game. But I honestly don't know. It'll be interesting. It should be a good game. It will be nice to watch that, Eddie. Indeed. I'm just glad I felt a little bit more involved in the NFL, like I'm playing or something. A little bit more involved in watching the NFL this year. It's been hard in recent years, and with all the shenanigans going on. And this year I felt like things had calmed down a bit and was getting back to normal. Dreadful sorry, Clementine, indeed. There, Mountain Coffee out there. Urban Hermit, how you doing, Everett? I know, Phil. I assumed you were being argumentative. You know, one good reason to root for the Eagles is that, well, never mind. Doing fine, Everett. Doing just fine. I only feel like I was punched in the jaw twice today, so it's a lot better. I'd rather see Cincinnati win over the Spice with your ribs team. Tim, I'm really having trouble figuring you out tonight. Nothing is normal anymore, indeed. Amen to that, Mr. Stan. Yeah, Mountain Coffee. That was it. And I don't want to get into the BS and make this about it. You know, that doesn't help anything. But that's the reason I've been away from it myself. And a lot of people have, I think. You know, it's funny, Everett. My dentist knows that I smoke, and I usually get a 10-minute or so. You don't have to stop smoking, but you can limit how much you smoke, kind of a thing from him, which is fine. You know, he's just looking out for me in the way that he best knows how to. I appreciate him saying it. Don't agree with him, but I appreciate it. And he was, as he was giving me my discharge instructions, I guess they're called. He said, "Now tonight, you know, you can have a cigar. This was a stressful day. Have a cigar. Just don't smoke the whole thing. Just smoke half of it." And I thought, well, heck, if I can smoke half a cigar, I could probably smoke 2 pipes, right? And I just went from there. I actually did not smoke on Wednesday after the dentist, and I didn't smoke until like afternoon yesterday, I think. I think that's right. And today I've had, this is maybe my 3rd pipe, so I've slowed down a lot. Ah, that Solani aged Burley is good stuff, Eddie. Ah, I got where you're going now, Tim, with the sauce and the meat in Kansas City. Finally. Okay. I don't know if we're going to have a YTPC Super Bowl spectacular this year, Tim. Kevin, I've had doctors say that to me. I've had other doctors treat me like I'm, shooting up heroin in a back alley. So it just depends on which doctor you get, I suppose. And if we're honest about it, it's not healthy, right? I mean, there's this balance between stress relief and lowering blood pressure and all that, and the negative effects of you bringing a foreign substance into your body. But we bring foreign substances into our body all the time. Eating at McDonald's is probably as risky as smoking a pipe. Now I'm going to get banned from YouTube and sued by McDonald's. Yeah, Doug, there's definitely a CYA component in there. So he didn't even plan on trying, huh, Everett? Everett's dad got 3 new teeth, and they said don't smoke for 48 hours, and he just said not going to happen. Yeah, Mountain Coffee. That's the weird thing about this, is because he had to cut so much of the gum open and pack in the bone graft and sew it up and everything. The bleeding has been nearly constant for like a day and a half. Finally stopped today. I shouldn't say constant. It's not like blood was pouring up, but there was just that constant taste of blood. It took a while to get over that. And that made me not exactly want to smoke or drink or do anything really. Oh, Rick Spence. I'm sure the cardiologist nurse might have needed a cardiologist nurse after that. Ilva is a foreign substance. Yes, she is, Couch. Yes, she is. That's true, Kevin. Every decision in life is a wager. Creator of the boundless universe. Great to see you tonight. Breathing the air has foreign substances in it. It does. Yeah, Eddie, I think that's true. Most doctors don't get that. I remember telling my primary care, who was actually a really good guy. He retired, uh, I don't know, 5 years ago or so. But he was the doctor that actually caught my cancer early and basically saved my life. He's a good doctor, old school. And I'm going to get in trouble for this story as I think about it. But I remember first time I was talking to him, and he said, "Are you a smoker?" And I said, "Well, I smoke pipes and cigars. And he said, "Oh, it doesn't matter, you know, lung cancer, blah, blah." And I said, "No, wait a minute, I don't inhale." And he just started laughing. And I said, "Well, no, seriously, we don't inhale." He said, "No, I'm not laughing at you. You just reminded me of Bill Clinton." Which I wasn't expecting from my doctor, but that was that. That's true, Lord Hogarth. They're assuming that we're lying. And Everett's dad didn't make it 10 minutes. That's hilarious, Everett. What Uncle Mike had liver clots when he had a wisdom tooth removed. Oh my goodness. I don't even... How do you know? He says they're gross. What? How do you know you had one? Or maybe I don't want to know. A tea bag helps stop the blood. That's interesting. Mountain coffee. Never would have thought of that. Oh, Doug, you have that situational high blood pressure, huh? So as I'm finishing this bowl of Haunted Bookshop in the Matches Memorial Pipe here, I would be remiss to not point out and remember that tomorrow, I believe tomorrow, will be 3 years since our friend John passed, and you know, we still all miss him a great deal, and keep his family in our thoughts and prayers. But I also think he'd be proud of the community today, how it's grown and how it's moved on and developed, and you know, we're different than we were 3 years ago. And of course we are in large part what we are today because of the effort of him and so many other folks that came before us in this community. So just wanted to acknowledge that and remind us all to just, you know, think warmly of John and keep his family in our prayers. Oh, okay, old Uncle Mike. I see what you mean. Looks like, oh, that's disgusting. I haven't had that joy. Beowulf and Miss Kathy had a buddy that had to have his sinuses cleaned out, and afterwards, when he would retrohale, smoke came out his nose and eyes. Oh my goodness! I had a friend back when I was in grad school that could squirt, like he could drink something and squirt it out his eye. I just thought that was weird. No need for apologies, Pepe. That's very nice and great to hear you you play piano and sing. I wish I had those talents. It's amazing, Everett. You've told me stories about your grandfather. He was an amazing guy. Major heart attack at the age of 42, and Lived quite a long life. Smoked the whole time. Yeah. Armchair Piper, you know, the best answer to give the dentist when they say that smoking stains your teeth is to look him in the eye and say, "Don't I pay you to take that off?" And then you're going to need to find a new dentist. But it makes me happy. There you go, Sailor. I don't eat McDonald's either, so I think that does balance out. Oh, Tim, did I miss something I was supposed to disapprove of? I'm sorry. It's all going by a little too fast for me to catch everything. You know what? I'll just do it. Oh, Tim. Oh, Tim. That's funny. I love coming out from the dentist into the lobby and then just scream in pain and then laugh. That's Mr. Stan, I think that's advice for Doug Owen there. He says cut out the salt and the nurses and your blood pressure will be fine. Sir Zenith, good evening to you. Great to see you tonight. So I am drinking water tonight because of the antibiotics. And also the dentist did kindly give me some heavy duty pain pills, which I have to admit I took a few of. Not many, but I probably won't take one tonight because I got to get up early tomorrow and drive. And I'll tell you about that. Doug Owen is asking an interesting question. Who was the best piano player / singer of all time? So not just piano player, but singer. I got to give that one some thought. Pondering with Pepe's Pipes wants to know how dentists understand the patients when they talk. I don't know if my dentist just talks to me when his hands are in my mouth, and it's very annoying because he asks me questions. And you know, he knows I can't answer them. I think he just does it to amuse himself. Eddie's got some interesting questions too. Is Waffle House a diner? Is Papa John's a pizzeria? And is Subway a deli? I'd have to say no to all of the above. Two of those don't even serve food. Bruce Hornsby, says Tim Fournier. Kevin Doolin is mentioning someone that I truly can't stand, as is Jeffrey Feinberg, but he's tagging on Elton John. Dry Fly Fisher 11, how you doing, buddy? You can't be late. Smooth Piper says Nat King Cole. I like that one. Harlow Piper, Jerry Lee Lewis. Although I have to say, I don't think Jerry Lee Lewis would count as one of the greatest singers, but Mr. Stan seconding Nat King Cole. I like Nat King Cole. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Asked Kevin Doolin. No, we're playing along, Doug. We've got Elton John, Billy Joel, Ray Charles has been mentioned, Jerry Lee Lewis has been mentioned, as has Nat King Cole, which I might have already just said. Was Liberace a singer? I don't think so, Rick. Burt Bacharach, says Artie of Artie's Place. Did Burt sing? Lionel Richie, says creator of the Boundless Universe. My, we have some diverse interests in music here. Old Uncle Mike is going with Barry Manilow. Texas Piper is saying Alice Keys. I don't know who that is. Ted Nugent. Who's this Gaga person that everybody... I don't know who that is. Stevie Wonder. That's a good one. Elvis Presley, says Kirk from Florida. Did Elvis play the piano? I needed my thingy. Tim's voting for not his ex-wife. How about McCartney? Paul McCartney. Ronnie Millsap. Everett says that Elvis could play the piano. So Couch is changing his vote to Mike Patton. I don't know who Mike Patton is. Oh, Pepe, I love the Pennsylvania polka. I love polka music. It's one of my guilty pleasures. John Legend? Don't know who that is. Sorry, I'm probably not the best person to be playing this game. Polkas are difficult, Pepe. Sarah McLachlan? Mr. Stan is coming up with Fats Domino, and Kirk from Florida is coming in with John Denver. Wow. That's an interesting story, Ron. The pilot of the ironclad USS Monitor during the battle looked through the sights of the pilot house when it was hit by a cannon. He had raccoon eyes for life and blew smoke through a hole in his cheek. That's a man. Kevin Doolan switching to some haunted bookshop. Doug Owen says that Bruce Hornsby's got to be right up there towards the top. Trying to remember the name of, although I doubt many people would like his singing voice, but he did sing, and he could sing well for the style of music. But the pianist that was with the Grateful Dead for a long time, He passed away while Garcia was still alive. I can't remember his name though. Yeah, it's funny, old Uncle Mike. When we moved to Atlanta, well, we lived in a suburb outside of Atlanta, but we were there for 6 years, and the apartment complex that we lived in had a lot of Mexican folks living in it, um, and they were wonderful, wonderful people. I really enjoyed them as neighbors. They were good neighbors, and very family oriented, very hardworking, great people. But they loved playing this music that was Mexican music, and every time it came on, I'd turn to my wife and I'd say, "That's polka." It really does sound a lot like polka. Very lively, very happy music. Another vote for Hornsby from Tim Fournier. Now, Hornsby played with the Dead, didn't he? Diana Krall, Armchair Piper, good one. Don't know Mike Patton either, Doug. Tuba Driven, both Mexican and polka. Interesting observation there, Tim. Patrick Grant, how you doing tonight, Patrick? Mr. Stan saying Ron McKernan. Pipe Time is voting another vote for Freddie Mercury, and Michael Case says that Dudley Moore was the world's greatest outdoor pianist. Yes, sir, Zenith. It is fun music for sure. Very energizing. Tim did have Hornsby at the beginning. That's true. Yeah, it's accordion in polka too, Mike. But it's those low notes, tuba-esque. Well, folks, I'm going to do something that I probably shouldn't do. But this came in a couple days ago. Hopefully you could read that. So Kevin Doolin's asking if I jar up bulk bags of tobacco or do I leave them bagged? It depends. So I do jar them up if I'm going to keep them for long-term storage, but I think I've got 4 or 5 pounds of Haunted Bookshop over there in a box in just the 1 pound bags that, you know, I have no problem with those. I know I'm going to smoke those sometime in the next 6 or 8 months, so they're fine. Everett, I can't say it out loud. I don't know if I can get that to focus or not. And I'm gonna, yeah, Clarence, please don't. And I'm gonna put the blend that shall not be named in an Irish second. So I bought it. There was a possibility that my wife was going to be going to Pittsburgh this week. She's probably not going until next week, and so I was going to save it until she was gone. But I think I'm also going to take it with me tomorrow when I drive down to York, PA, and I'm going to tell you about my trip tomorrow. And I figure, well, what harm will one bowl do? Close the vents. I think I'll be safe down here. I think. I got the door closed. I got the air filter running. I honestly don't understand why she's so sensitive to this, but we shall see. I think it's been a couple years since I've had this. It's not as cube cut as I remember it being. It's more of a rough ribbon cut. Sailor wants to know if I'm concerned about the carcinogens in the poly bag imparting contamination to my tobacco. It could be unsafe. No, I'm not. Michael Case says she has an inordinate love for deer. That's funny. See, here's deer screaming about their tongues. No, actually, dry fly fisher, I got away with the cigar. It was never questioned. In fact, I made a mention when she was telling me her plans to go to Pittsburgh. I always tease her because she will go to Leaf and Bean in Pittsburgh and buy me cigars. And I said, oh, you can go to Leaf and Bean when you're there. And she said, you've got a humidor full of cigars. Besides, when's the last time you had a cigar? Well, it was last Friday, actually. Oh, very nice. Funny, I'm not getting as much deer tongue as I expected off of this. But the burley's there and it's good. It's back ordered now, Jeffrey? I got it just in time. So I saw somebody asking what was the answer to the question of the best pianist and singer, and I don't think we reached a consensus, but there were a lot of good ones. And Pepe asking if I think William Penn smoked tobacco. I have no idea, Pepe. I've never seen reference to him smoking tobacco. Sir Zenith is asking if I have a suggestion on a good cigar for a beginner. Maybe somebody else that's more into current cigars. Couch, you probably can do a better job on this one than I can. Because I haven't really shopped for cigars in a long time. My default that I always tell everybody is the Leaf Sumatra. So it's a nice solid cigar. It's got a lot of flavor, but it's not too heavy. But usually a beginner, people will recommend a Connecticut or a Dominican. Those Davidoffs are probably a good choice. from what little I know of Davidos. Oh, Ryan S. Thank you for reminding me. I keep promising to tell you why I'm going to York, and I don't do it. So I'm going to the Midwestern Tool Collectors Association tool show in York, Pennsylvania tomorrow. It's an organization that I belong to for 4 or 5 years now, and they are an antique tool collecting society, and they have these area meetups at various times during the year, and this is one of the bigger ones in this area. It starts at 7 a.m. and I'm about 2 hours from York, so I'm going to have to get up pretty early to get there and actually be able to see the stuff that's for sale before all the people that aren't me get a chance to buy it. So yeah, Doug, I don't know what Crosby actually smoked. I know it was a custom blend. It was at a shop. It wasn't a Cornell and Deal blend, certainly, and I don't even know if it had deer tongue in it. Michael Case is saying William Penn cigars in the old days. Yep, and Pepe. There definitely were Indians in Pennsylvania who smoked tobacco. That's definitely true, Pepe. Yes, I know that Spurgeon was a cigar guy, a pipe and cigar guy. Yeah, and yes, the Southern Baptists do tend to admit that, but you know, no one in this world is perfect, Tim. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not actually. I can't even tell you where the thing is. I could look it up if you're interested, but it would be great to meet up with you. But I'm probably not going to be there much past noon. Mr. Stan is asking if Crosby smoked Father Dempsey. I'm fairly certain he did not, Mr. Stan, and the reason I say that is I visited Kramer's in LA back before they closed, actually about a year before they closed, so I was really fortunate to have that experience. And I spent a fair amount of time talking to Marcia, I believe was her name, and Marcia was Kramer, the owner of Kramer's. It was his daughter, and she was involved in the shop forever and showed me the card file with all the celebrity blends and stuff. And I was talking to her about, and I had misremembered and thought that they had blended the tobacco for Bing Crosby, and I mentioned it because I knew they had some flavoring component. It turns out it was this Irish mist thing that they put in some of their blends. But I asked her about Bing Crosby, and she said, no, Bing Crosby never came into the store. So if he did smoke Father Dempsey, it was gotten some other way other than through Kramer's. Yeah, Beowulf and Miss Kathy, I love going to flea markets and looking for tools. It's a lot of fun. Could be at the York Expo Center. Could be Ryan. One of the interesting things about this meetup is more appropriate. I mean, it's not a formal meeting. This is a tool collectors association, and I talked about this in my video on Sunday. I don't really consider myself a tool collector, although I do have tools that I'll probably never use, so technically I am a tool collector. But I go to these things looking for tools that I'm going to use, and there's actually a bit of snobbery about that at these things. You know, that they'll say things like, "Oh, you're a user," so I gotta be careful what I say. Hey, Pepe, Harley stuff and train stuff, and you're cool. Oh, I'm glad you enjoy, Pepe. Glad you enjoy. Hey, if you're ever around for it, it was just last weekend, I believe. There's an event in Lancaster called Cabin Fever that has a lot of model train stuff. It's a once a year thing. It's for modelers, you know, people that build model trains and model train villages and all that kind of stuff. It's a really cool show. They got a lot of machine shop type stuff, and just a great place to go and find tools you didn't know existed. I'm going to look up the location for this. I'll try not to ignore you too much while I'm doing that. There you go, Doug. That's a great way to think about it. I think so, dry fly fisher. I think they are meant to be used. Certainly the ones we're talking about were meant to be used. You know, it's not like Stanley was making rulers expecting some guy to have a collection of 7,000 Stanley rulers, but yet there's guys that have collections that size. And God bless them. You know, they're keeping the history alive. This is going to be at the Wyndham Garden in York, PA. So, hope that means something to you there, Kevin. Or Ryan, rather. Yes, Midwest Tool Collectors Association. That's the name of the organization. And this is the Area P meetup. It's at the Wyndham Garden. That's interesting, Doug. So he says that Crosby was fairly loyal to the tobacco shop in Caramel, and the owner was a pipe maker and created some of Bing's pipes. It would be interesting to research that. So, see if we can figure out who the guy was. That would be pretty cool. Ryan Dawkins, I don't know, but I mean, there are some tools that are just so beautifully made and, you know, such pristine examples that I kind of understand it. Like it's different with pipes, you know. I guess if you found a if you found an unsmoked 6th Everson pipe that was, you know, still had a price sticker on it, I doubt very much it would have a price sticker. Well, maybe it would. Maybe it would. Would you take it home and smoke it? I don't know. You know, that becomes sort of a question of, is that something that really should be preserved? And I guess that's the way a lot of people look at it. There might be a train museum in New Jersey. I'm sure there is, Mr. Stan. There's one in Pennsylvania, uh, up north of where I live, that I've been meaning to get to forever. Pepe's asking if have I checked up on Armchair and his Stanwells. Armchair is on tonight, and from what I understand, his Stanwells are doing fine. There we go. Armchair Piper says pipes are made to be smoked and tools are made to be used. Amen. And you know, to be honest, when I buy tools, if I've got a chance to buy a brand new, never used pre-war Stanley 750 chisel, which is something I'd really enjoy having, and right next to it is a used Stanley 750 pre-war chisel that needs some work to get it going again, I'll pick the used one because I know I'm going to use it. And I'd rather let a collector have the unused one so that he can put it in a box up on a shelf or whatever they do with them. And then everybody can be happy. You know, we're not in a situation where we don't have enough chisels. So it doesn't hurt anybody to have these collections. And, yeah, it's not like these guys are investing in these things. Like nobody's expecting the value of chisels to increase dramatically in the next 10 years or anything like that. They're just doing it because they're trying to, just like people collect coins or stamps or anything else. You know, it's just it's the challenge of getting the whole set. There you go, Dry Fly Fisher. That's another good example. You know, if you had an original Garrison rod, would you fish it? I probably would, to be honest, because I know enough about Garrison to know that he would want it to be fished. But there are people that would shoot me for doing it. That's true, Tim, but I doubt there'll be many chisel collectors in the reign of the apes. Maybe that's why Heston was so mad at them. They tied up all the good chisels. The only chisels Charlton Heston had to work with were Harbor Freight. It could happen. It's unlikely, but it could happen. We seem to be getting away with this. Yes, Sailor, that's a good point, and that gets into a whole interesting area where there are pipes being made that you almost can't imagine are intended to be smoked. Damn dirty chisels. Good one, Jeffrey. Human bone chisels, yeah. Yeah, some of these pipes, I heard, I think it was Chris Kelly, Eldridge Pipes referred to them as architectural pipes, where they're more about, making the pipe look like things it's not than about actually. Well, I shouldn't say it's not about making a quality smoking instrument, because I'm sure that they would smoke wonderfully if you smoked them, but there's so much work going into sculpting the outside and coloring it and texturing it and everything else that it really is almost art in briar. So are those things intended to be smoked? I don't know. And of course, there are people buying them specifically to collect them. And that's true of many artisan pipes, not just those architectural pieces. There you go. Armchair Piper's got a really cool collection of the Sixton Everson design Stanwells, and he only needs 10 to complete the set, but he smokes them all. So that's a great example of somebody that both collects and uses. Dry fly fisher, that's what Winston Fly Rods has always said of their Tom Morgan rods. Yeah. Yeah, Doug, fishing bamboo is a very different experience to graphite, no question about it. And it definitely takes some getting used to. It slows you down. Hey, Jim PM, how you doing, buddy? Thank you, Ryan. Um, I'll do my best. In all honesty, I do not have anything that I'm specifically going there looking for. I had some things about a month ago when I decided to do this, but for various reasons, I've either acquired the thing, so I got a new mortise engage that I talked about in one of my Sunday videos recently, um, or I've just decided I don't really need it. Yeah, that'll slow you down too, Tim. That'll definitely slow you down. All right, Bear Wolf and Miss Kathy, you take care. Get some rest and have a great weekend, my friends. And thank you for stopping in tonight. It's great to see you. I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed in this crooner. Maybe I just had such high hopes for it that I'm not remembering it properly, but it just seems like the deer tongue's very light. One said, Sadie Mokid, good to see you tonight, and we all miss him, my friend. We all miss him. You know, Tim, if I could do that, I'd save every day like a treasure, and then, well, creator of the boundless universe asks, what basic tools and supplies would I recommend for starting to restore pipes? Well, a lot of them are going to be things you probably already have. You know, it's going to be things like pipe cleaners and reamers, but you're going to need a lot of pipe cleaners. You're going to want to get some alcohol. If you can get some Everclear, that's one of the best, safest things to use. Drugstore isopropyl alcohol is okay. I recommend Murphy's oil soap for cleaning the briar, and especially for cleaning the cake off the rim. And then, unfortunately, sandpaper is probably your next best friend. You're going to need sandpaper for cleaning the stems. No matter what people tell you, all these magic sauces and magic erasers and all that stuff, you need sandpaper and you need micro mesh paper. And then after that, a buffer. You don't need a buffer initially, but if you really get into it, you're eventually going to want a buffing setup. And then about 700 other things that you'll accumulate as time goes on. That's really the fun part about it is, you know, you're at the hardware store, or Harbor Freight, or the craft store or something, and you see something, you go, oh, that would work for this. And that's one of the really fun things about the hobby, is that you get to find solutions to the problems. MTMTB, you cannot be late. You're just on time. Yes, Harlow Piper, a lot of elbow grease. You want a big tub of elbow grease. Jim PM, it could be. I mean, I know this pipe pretty well. I wouldn't expect it of this pipe, but yeah, it could be. Backcountry Pipe, how you doing, Mark? Good to see you tonight. Yeah, Tim, that one hurt a little bit. Armchair Piper is voting for Everclear and elbow grease as well. Dryfly Fisher is asking if I've ever come across the pipe stem which had a sour taste. I can't say, because I don't really smoke most of the pipes that I've restored, so I don't know, but retort usually takes care of that. Usually takes care of any off taste. So I'd recommend trying a retort. Ryan S. I don't. Yeah, actually, it's funny. Most wives love crooner. My wife's the odd one out. She will let me smoke anything around her but crooner. So I don't think it was the wives all banding together to get C&D to cut back on the deer tongue. If anything, they would have wanted more. Yeah, I got the happy wife part. Yeah. Brian Dawkins, some good advice there too. Bottle brushes, yeah, they can be useful. Fine sandpaper. I always use the micro mesh for that, but yeah, you can go to auto stores and you can buy up to like 2,000 grit sandpaper. And Dremel tool can be very useful. Mentioned reamers, polishing stuff, yeah. Q-tips, good point. Q-tips can be very helpful. The sailor's saying that the sulfur compounds in the vulcanite can give off a sour or bitter taste. That is true. Usually doesn't last long in my experience, but definitely is true. Mr. Stan says he uses soju mixed with Campari. Weird mix, but seems to work. I don't know what soju is. I know what Campari is, and I'm not sure what it works for, Mr. Stan. So let me know. Tim says Burt's Beeswax buffs off the ebonite stem and removes the sour flavor. Jim PM says a bristle brush and vodka, and that takes care of the sour taste for him. Glad that method worked for you, MTMTB. Yeah, Doug, the Everclear is for cleaning the insides of the pipe. Don't get it on the outside, because it'll ruin the finish, and it actually causes the vulcanite to oxidize pretty easily. And yes, you don't want to drink Everclear unless you cut it with something. Ah, soju is Korean grain alcohol. Thank you, Patrick. The soju and Campari. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Hope that works for you, Dry Fly Fisher. Michael Case says, does anyone make micarta stems? Not that I'm aware of, Michael, but that doesn't mean much. The Urban Hermit says he just keeps his pipes burning and there's no sour taste. They're afraid to be sour, Everett. They know what you can do to them. That's a good tip, Sailor. Light oxidation on vulcanite can be removed with toothpaste. Anything that's mildly abrasive. I mean, you could even, if you've got some mineral oil or even Vaseline and some baking soda, you can make a paste of that and use it to kind of scrub off some light oxidation. Smooth Piper says he uses pipe cleaners with little mouthwash. A lot of folks use mouthwash as a pipe sweetener. Pepe's got a big day tomorrow, flying to Florida to visit his dad. Well, we sure hope you have a good trip there, Pepe. And hope you get to spend some good time with your dad. Yes, Creator, Everclear did always work for spiking the punch. Ah, it's a good point there, Brian. Toothpaste with activated charcoal. Oh, so micarta is used in fountain pens, Michael. I see. All right, Pepe, you stay safe too, my friend. I think we've reached the end of the crooner. And I haven't gotten yelled at. We've only got a few minutes to go, so I'm not going to reload. Because I gotta go to bed. I think I'm gonna get up around 4. The show starts at 7. If I get there at 7 and I don't see what I want, I'm going to assume it's because somebody bought it at 6:59. It's good advice, Tim. Very good advice. Portsmouth Piper says the lady at the liquor store gives him funny looks when he asks her to point him in the direction of the cleaning supplies. That would be an interesting evening, Sailor. We could discuss books we read. That'd be a good idea. I'm reading a mess of things right now. I tend to have like 10 books going at the same time, and sometimes I finish 5 of them. Oh, Doug, I did not need to know that story. Oh, that's disgusting. Yes, Tim, you know, your book is not that long and I haven't finished it yet. It's one of the 10 though. Thank you, Michael. Yes, appreciate that and appreciate the luck. I'll probably be doing pipes tomorrow. And I'm going to take the crooner and some haunted bookshop with me. Harlow Piper just finished a bowl of University Flake and it was great. Well, fantastic. That's a fine blend. And I will take some pictures and such at the tool meetup. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll probably post them at some point tomorrow, and I'll probably talk a bit about the tool show on Sunday, so you'll get an update then. You know, Ryan S., that if that were the choice and you had to pick one, it would be a tough choice, wouldn't it? Ryan Dawkins just finished Lifesavers and Body Snatchers by Tim Cook. Hope you enjoyed those. I haven't been reading much fiction. Well, I'm working my way slowly through the complete works of P.G. Wodehouse, so that's fiction, but it's about the only fiction I've been reading lately. Mountain Coffee Outdoors is working on pipe-connected literature. You like the John Marr, Sailor? I tried it. It was one of the ones where I didn't like the topping very much. Wasn't bad though. Wasn't bad. All right, folks. I think we're gonna start to draw this to a close. We got a couple minutes left. Uh, I'm not gonna be on next week. I'm taking the night off because I can. And I need a night off. Gonna spend some quality time with the missus before she heads off to Pittsburgh. And but I'll be back the following week, so you can look forward to that. And I'll still do the Sunday things and all that. And maybe while she's off in Pittsburgh, we'll sneak something in one afternoon or something. We'll see how it goes. But with all that, I hope you all have a great weekend. Again, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's CaneRod Piper. I'll be posting some stuff from the tool show, and definitely will update you on that on Sunday. And other than that, you all take care. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's always a high point in my week, and I always enjoy chatting with you guys, and tonight's been no exception whatsoever. And once again, keep John's memory and John's family in your thoughts tomorrow. So with that, everyone, take care, and I'll catch you all in 2 weeks' time. Bye all.